Hey, how's it going? Back is turned to you, but I'm still going to talk into the microphone. This is our room capture mic here. Um, Today's going to be a little bit odd. I'm going to be in and out a little bit. Still waiting on John to get here, but shouldn't be too long before he is. But I'm just going to let the cameras run, and I'm going to be messing around with some synthesizers like I always do. Feel free to leave a comment. And some fan engagement would be fun. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions about what I'm up to today, let me know. Change things around a little bit again. You can kind of see it on camera. We got a new mix board in here, and I'm really excited to use it. Let's see if I can. There, a little bit more room. Yeah, so you might hear some background noise. I'm going to turn down the room mic here in a little bit when I'm done with the introduction. But I plan on just messing around with some synths. I had an issue with my Polyan Tracker's jog wheel. I went to Sweetwater last week and was able to replace it. So I have a brand new Polyan Tracker here. I just got all my stuff reinstalled on it, all my old samples and all that. Here I got a mini log, and I have my drum machine, the usual things. Incorporating this mix board's been fun. I'm not sure exact all the features it has yet. I read the manual. I'm still working my way through it, but I got to a point where I was able to route audio in a more clever way. Before, the way we ran our mixer for all the different instruments going on in here was simply through the Sapphire, Focusrite Sapphire interface had its own built-in mixer in the digital format, and it was very challenging to move things around that. This is nice because we can just make some minor adjustments, and it's just open for anyone to tweak some things, and that's probably going to be the plan throughout the whole entire stream is making little tweaks and adjustments. Like I just turned up a little bit here, just trying to get the right levels for everything. The pots on this Mackie are still a little bit scratchy. I just ordered some deoxit. I plan on getting rid of some of the oxidation that's happened inside the board. So you might hear some pots being a little noisy, but that's what you'd expect with an old board. So, again, thanks for tuning in to Skylight Huddle, session 23, I believe. It's a little bit messy in here, so I might be cleaning up a little bit as we wait for John. And I still don't think he's here. So, yep, I'm going to turn this down and just kind of mess with some stuff I've been messing with. All right. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Man. Check, check. Okay, this mic is now working. Check. Check, check. Yeah, I'm trying to treat Skylight Huddle more like synths, like on days like this, like more like a thing that's just hit on, and then as I'm in and out of there, like working on stuff, it's just kind of rubbish.
Gotcha.
Hello. I'm gonna make coffee, by the way.
Yo, I like that. Jesus Christ. What are you doing, man? Alright, listen, bud. No. Not from there. I'm trying to set my stuff there so you don't do anything with it. Come here. Come here, bud. What, now that I want it, you don't? Come here. Harley. What are you doing? Come here. Yeah, hi. Yes. Alright. Did a good job. You moved up there. Easy.
stream's getting its own copy, and what we hear in here, we can dictate all of that, which is kind of cool because I had enough channels for it. So. Pretty sweet. I'm gonna just wait for some coffee. Oh yeah, and I also have it set up where the room mic, I had to make sure, this is why I had to make sure I wasn't using XLR inputs and outputs. The room mic is a condenser mic, and I didn't want to blow everything up with phantom power. I wasn't sure, like, for if like sending voltage to my interfaces would be a good idea, because I had it set up before where I was running XLRs into them. You know what I mean? Or am I wrong about that?
I have no idea. I don't quite understand still how you've got it set up. So
Maybe I need to make one of those diagrams.
you know.
But yeah, all you really need to know at this point is if we want to hear if you want to hear anything, you just select the right channel that you want to send it to. Like if we want to hear it in the room, you just make sure L and R are on, and you can dictate the volume here. This is this computer. This one is this one, and then like the room mic. Now the room mic's on, and the room mic's going to the stream, so they should be able to. Yep, they can hear us. And turn that up a little bit. Yeah. So, yeah, you can see the room mic is now going to the stream here. So, and that's the condenser microphone. Probably bump that up a little more. Just give it a little more gain. And I was using these to monitor sound, so I could hear what it sounded like. And then I had these dialed back because when the synthesizers and stuff come in, everything's pretty loud, so you just have to like keep an eye on it. Because I don't have any limiters or compression at all. Like it's just all, you have to kind of monitor that yourself.
Like I said, the idea though is to have, well, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what level matching there can be really.
But
Because like in order for anything to stay within bounds, you'd have to be trying to mix to like 0.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what it ends up being. At least, like I said, on things that are driving outputs, at least.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. It doesn't have to like all be line level. Like as long as I'm getting sound and it sounds good, and it sounds good in here. I have the short run to the audio interface here, and that's just running with a USB all the way to the other side of the room. So that way it's nice and short, and it's all everything that's handled is digital for the long distance run. And then I was messing around with just having the reverb send. But the way this board's routed, where, and I guess partly to do with the way I routed it, you can only send it to a certain mix via here. So, that's okay. But yeah. So
that's what I was saying, though. Like, that's you really kind of shot yourself in the foot a little bit, because if the quote print recording isn't the context that would be expected, which would be, like I said, the 2-bus.
Yeah.
None of the things that happen with sends and returns really function the way they're intended to.
So I guess in some regard it's good to like record some of this stuff like and just mess with effects later, but yeah, I guess like what you're saying is I won't have any of that stuff solidified, which is kind of what you want, is representation of what you heard, yeah. So I guess with that, if we want it to be a representation of what we heard, we just can't send anything anywhere. So yeah, it might not be ideal yet, but I was just learning the board, so I was happy with the amount of control I got out of it in terms of like being able to flip on certain things and whatever. But the board sounds great and runs great, so I'm really happy for it. Now, in terms of what you can hear, we can just be in the room, or you can plug in to here, because I still need to get I should have bought that little headphone mixer, and then we could have ran out of the back in a mix or something. Like just do that could have been like the CR out or something. But this thing also has, for the first 8 channels, direct out. So like when I do hook up my DAW, like you can just like record each channel from the first 8 channels, which is awesome. So cool. Yeah, I was messing around with the point. Feel the bottom of this. Just feel it. Feels so nice. Well, the other one just felt like this on the bottom, and this one's nice and smooth and clean. But yeah, I was messing around yesterday. I was making drum loops on here. Like I was taking let's see, let me load another patch here. So I had this set up where I could record, and then you can export like the scenes in here. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, it's in here. Yeah, I made a bunch of them. All at 80 BPM. Let's see. sounds really cool with the arpeggiation I have on here. So the drum machine is coming from here, but there's a hi-hat going on here. This is good for like textures. I'm trying to like experiment with like just staying on a single chord and see if I keep it interesting. It's hard They took everything out of here yesterday. It took forever. And Hannah came over one day. We did sing yesterday, and we did some really, really cool samples. And then we started writing a song for her that I'm excited to show you. Her thing is so weird because like she showed me this thing from a TV show that she used to watch, and it was like, do you remember the Proud Family on Disney? You ever watch that? So it's like it's like Disney Channel, and there's a sound effect in there that she liked, and it just sounded like to me it sounded like what's it called? What's that band that sings the song? Oh, Cypress Hill. You know they have that like squeal sound, like the.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had that going, or it was like in the song, and I was like really into it, and so we recorded it. That sounded really cool. So we recorded that, and then we did this thing where we rendered it down to audio, and so I took the MIDI, I rendered it to audio, and then we put it into Alchemy. So it started as a retro synth, and then we put it into Alchemy with like like it was a chord. It was some weird dissonant chord, and then I added a like vocal like format to it, and it made it sound like someone was like screaming in a weird way, but like in a good way, I guess. And then we vibratoed it, and then we took it and we made it where it would get louder over time, like a riser going into this part, and it sounds super cool. I'll show it to you later. But yeah, it was really cool. Let's see. Yeah, this one too. Let's see what we got here. This one was good too. Yeah, I just made several different ones because I wanted to mix and match like the rhythm. Let's see, let's bring these out and take these back up. Yeah, this one's cool too. Yeah, like it had like a little hole at the end. feel you, dude. Yeah, because like all the new models, they're so thin, and like it's probably harder to work on those, right?
Well, you can't really work the new ones. You like, for example, on the MacBook Airs, like the only thing that you can really replace, and it's not even supposed to be user replaceable. It's just something, if you do the research, you can figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
But they, I think, like pretty much the battery is the only replaceable thing. Like everything else in terms of like memory and storage, that kind of shit, it's all soldered on the board. So you ain't gonna upgrade it or change it. Like, so there is a point at which those things basically just die. But like, if the storage and memory and all that's still good to go, like typically, the only thing that really wears out is the battery.
Yeah. So
And
then replace the battery and you're good, kind of.
kinda, yeah. But again, those are like, you know, the newer ones, and even the new MacBook Pros like don't have as many ports. So the new ones that just dropped are way better on that front. But
They
there's
have
still
more
no,
ports?
yeah, but there's still no Ethernet, and I'm really pissed because I checked that into it, and they're actually like thick enough to have the port. Like I measured it all, and I was like, there's technically there's no reason they couldn't have included it. Like it wasn't an engineering decision, that's for sure.
So it was like an aesthetic decision, you think?
Yeah.
Like we don't want more holes in our Mac, kind of thing. It's kind of strange.
But
'cause-
well, yeah, they did get back the SD card slot, which like that's a bigger hole than Ethernet.
That's interesting.
So it's just weird. It just
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. So they can sell you the $60 Thunderbolt to fucking Ethernet adapter. But like that's the whole thing is like the box I carry out like when I pull it out, like if I have to hook something up, it's usually only ever like an interface to get a serial port so I can manage like a switch or something when I'm first setting it up.
Yeah.
For most things, it's things that are already in place and already connected, and the most I should have to do is maybe plug in Ethernet to work on it.
Yeah.
So I don't like the whole like not needing adapters thing.
Yeah.
Or sorry, needing adapters
Needing
for
them.
everything.
Yeah. I knew what you meant.
So, but the new ones are super powerful. They're performing super well. Like people are saying they crush through like things like say editing video. Even crispier than like the last model like Intel, i9 or whatever the fuck
Really?
MacBook Pros. Yeah.
So it can handle like I'm assuming 4K and 8K stuff.
Oh
then?
yeah, like
Easy?
just chop right through it.
That's insane.
It's just nutty.
Wow. So you're
So that's pretty cool to see. I'm very happy to see it.
Well, what do you think about? So are you still getting the M1 like the?
Yeah, that's what those are based on, but they're based on like a later revision of it with like more GPU cores and faster memory and faster storage. Like
We're talking about like desktops at this point, right?
basically, yeah.
We're not talking about.
Well, that's what's so crazy is like they make like a M1 iMacs,
Yeah.
iMacs based on this chipset, and those crush as well.
Is that what Wes has?
Yes, Wes
Oh,
has one of the
man.
new
Yeah.
M1 iMacs. Yeah, super good looking hardware too.
Yeah,
My
I know.
God,
It looks good.
I mean,
love
just the
that
industrial design
He had the
that
dark-
Apple has always
Yeah,
had
the
is
black
just
one. That one looked really good.
Wes. So Wes's is like a dark blue.
Oh really?
It's super pretty, dude.
To be
It's
fair, it was in the
insane.
basement. I could barely
It's
tell.
insane. It's
It's a
gorgeous.
dark like navy color, like darker than navy almost. That's really cool.
It's gorgeous. It really is
That's
gorgeous.
awesome.
And then of course they make the M1 like Mac Minis too, like,
Yeah.
that are in a sense you're saying like a desktop computer basically.
Yeah.
And then of course they have the M1 MacBook Airs, and now they have like a MacBook Pro based on that platform or an even better revision of it.
Oh
And
wow.
they're
That's
just blowing the doors, man. People are. I just keep reading so much stuff about people that have benchmarked and run like actual workloads through them and just can't understand like how it's so freaking fast. Like in some cases, so good. It's one of those things where like if you do certain things for a living, like buy one because it'll pay for itself almost immediately in time saved. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that kind of big jump.
the M stands for magic.
At this point, I guess. It's just so neat because like for a long time the only thing that really supported ARM was like various Linuxes. Like there was a Windows that ran on ARM that was Windows RT, and that didn't last very long. That was like in the Windows 8 days when they had trying to have like Windows Phone and Windows, tablet and all that, but that never succeeded because they didn't have any sort of secret sauce to make regular Windows app stuff run on ARM, even at like a performance penalty.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the thing that Apple did so well. The reason that no one's having any like friction going that direction is because they built something called Rosetta, which has lineage in some of the original stuff they wrote to make the Motorola era code from like Mac OS like 8 and 9 work on OS 10 boxes that were running Intel stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually it all got phased out and didn't matter. They didn't need Rosetta anymore. But Rosetta 2 is what they're running on the new ARM Macs, and what it is basically an emulator, if you want to think of it that way, kind of like an emulator for video games would be. But when processes run that would have been written or compiled for Intel, like x86 or whatever, it just seamlessly in the background translates it into ARM code. And in some cases, like, there isn't really even a performance hit, like, because the thing that's emulating it is just so much faster than even what the thing originally was. So the hit it's taking emulating isn't even affecting anything.
Wow.
Even certain audio plugins and like DAW stuff in like Logic and shit. Like, people were reporting pretty early on that, like, yeah, all my wave shit works through Rosetta. Like, maybe I can't have as many of them running at a time yet, but like, this is long before Waves had even dropped support for M1 shit on their plugins. So like, it was pretty seamless, man. Even the early adopters didn't have a whole lot of trouble.
And you were waiting, I know, to see if some of that stuff would work out, right? Wasn't that part of the reason you waited too, with those plugins?
Definitely,
I remember you mentioning that.
And not only that, but like the fact of the matter is, like, when they originally dropped like the line of stuff that was running on Apple Silicon, the original line of the M1 stuff, it it was the very first generation of the stuff they had done, and there wasn't a whole lot of fanfare before it came out. So in all reality, it kind of caught a bunch of companies with their pants down, because a bunch of people like audio interface vendors and things, like, or people who write plugins, like, they didn't even know the shit was dropping when they did it.
Yeah.
So like, it's like, hey, there's this new Mac platform that's out. You can't use it, though, because we didn't tell any of our vendors that build things for Macs that we were about to put this out. And so now it's out, but they don't have, like, support for it yet. So it took, like, a while for all the vendors to catch up and put out, like, drivers and things like that were ready to go for that,
Mm-hmm.
It's happened, I feel like, for most of them by now. I don't know if there's any even holdouts.
Well, they probably hauled ass to get all that done.
I mean, they kind of had to. That's my
like,
point. No one warned them. It just dropped.
Because they want people to keep using their stuff. They don't want there to be much time.
Yeah, if you wait too long, like, you kind of look like the bad guy, because it's like, what? Do you guys not care that this doesn't work? Like,
That's a hard. That's a hard.
And you didn't choose to just, like.
No.
You know what I mean?
And
So
it was. Yeah.
So it was a strange position, I feel like, for companies to be put in. Honestly, even companies like Motu for a while, like, there wasn't, like, the universal driver we downloaded that covered, the Traveler and, like, the 896 and, like, stuff going even back to, like, the 424s and old FireWire shit. Like, that driver only came out, I think, within the last 4 or 5 months for M1.
Yeah. Wow.
So, like, even companies that are normally really on top of it. And granted, the quality was still good. When the new driver came out, just like it's always been, it covered every model going all the way back. If you can find all the right dongles to hook your shit up, it'll work. Like, it knows how to support it. So that's pretty impressive. But, like, yeah, it took them probably a year.
Yeah.
From the time it dropped till the time it was like, okay, yeah, we have the thing that just lets you use all your stuff again. It's like, wow.
That's insane.
I feel like had they known about it, they would have started a lot earlier.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think it's just bad communication on Apple's part.
Mm. Or they didn't want people to know for some reason.
Everybody knew that stuff was coming eventually, though.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, look what they've been
I don't
doing.
keep close track of that stuff, so I don't know. I'm just speculating.
Well, I'm just figuring, like, they've had the benchmark numbers to show. I mean, look what they're doing with the current gen, like, iPhone chips. I mean, the M1s are, like, directly in lineage of that. Like, so all the development they've done all the way up till now, like, of course it's been leading around to them, like, producing high-performance chips, too.
Yeah.
It's just, like I said, everybody else who's tried to do it and transition that way has failed, and, like, Apple's big enough to pull it off. Mm-hmm. And having that emulation layer is critical. Because, like, people can just keep running all the apps they always ran, for the most part.
Wow.
So that was the thing. Honestly, I feel like they had to nail. If
Yeah.
that didn't work out the right way, everything was sunk.
Man.
Because it'd get bad press, and everybody say, "Oh, it doesn't work," or "It only works with certain stuff." But it came out and just was like, it's just another Apple product. It just does what all the other ones do. So, all right. And the price was a lot lower too.
How much?
Like the new M1,
Yeah, they're really cheap. I remember
like
like
desktop
500 or
Macs,
something.
I feel like you can get into for like $700 or $800 for a fairly feature packed one, which is nuts.
That's really good. That's
That's what I'm saying. I think that's where I'm planning on heading next. Like I was waiting for, like, I knew this line of Pros would come out, and I'm sure there's then gonna be a Gen 2 of like Apple Silicon, like minis and iMacs and whatever. Whenever the next gen thing happens, it's like I'll either be able to get a used one of the originals, or if the price stays consistent like it has for the ones they put out so far, maybe it'll just be affordable enough I go directly into it. Because like those new iMacs are compelling, but then again, so are these MacBook Pros. Like, man, I could, for not much more money, I could buy one of those and literally take my whole studio with me.
So how
somewhere.
much was Wes's computer, do you think?
I don't know how he got it configured. I didn't look like specifically into the specs. It's something I can literally look it up though.
Is it like
and see?
Is it one of the $600 ones, or is that just like if you get like
No, the iMacs are more. Because think about
'Cause
it,
they're
it's a
like
whole
more
screen
hardware.
and everything. Yeah.
So the M1 hardware
Is
just
literally
like
just the
like
machine.
like the machine, so you can hook up any screen to it. It's got HDMI and stuff.
I don't know if it's HDMI, but it
got
has
something.
outputs. It can drive.
Does it have to like drive
two
proprietary stuff like a
I
proprietary?
think they're just
Apple
like Thunderbolt or what are USB-C like adapters, the standard kind of thing. I'll look it up though.
screen? That
real
is
quick.
really tempting.
So, let's just go to apple.com. iPhone 13 Pro. Damn, it does look sexy. Alright. Don't get distracted here. Let's go Mac. So, let's say we want. Shop Mac models. Yeah. That doesn't just mean laptops though, right? Yeah, compare all Mac models. These are just MacBooks.
But
Okay. So I believe these are the new iMacs. Load up the page here. So the new 24-inch iMac, yeah, it comes in this blue. So the very front bezel is like this light blue, but the body's like this dark, super dark blue kind of thing. This is the M1 chip. So this is with the whole setup, right? So like with keyboard and everything, 8 gigs of memory. It's a 24-inch display, and a 1/4 terabyte of storage is 1,300. So that's like for the whole computer,
that's
like
still
the iMac.
not bad.
No, it's really not. And if you want the fatter 8-core GPU and 8-core CPU, that's 1,500. So that's like
Still,
the
for a couple hundred more.
And if you really want more storage, my whole thing though at that point is
Yeah.
like, on the new platforms, you kind of have to start thinking in terms of everything living on externals or living on network storage.
That's
how
what we
I do
talked
it.
about anyway, doing, because you want to be able to save all your stuff externally anyway.
Yeah, like here's the there's the color.
Gosh,
and
that's
it's
so
just
cool. Look at those sharp
gorgeous.
edges.
Oh, I know, and they're thin. I mean, they're like this
Mhm.
thin. The whole back of it. It's just nuts. So yeah, those aren't bad. And then let me see. Oops, go back. And they still do sell the Mac Pros too, but my God, are they just out of sight expensive? Okay, so the cheapest one M1 chip like at Mac Mini you can get is $700, $699. So that's with the same setup as that iMac, right? The 8-core for CPU and GPU, 256 gigs of storage, 8 gigs of RAM. No screens, obviously, or keyboard or nothing, but $699. So that's pretty affordable. And then if you want the half a terabyte of storage and the neural engine, that's $900. But when you figure just to get into an entry level like i5 model, like entry in terms of performance, you're already talking, $200-$300 more. It's like, that's crazy. Why would you not get the M1? Because it's performance wise is like 4 or 5 times as good as the entry, $1,000+ one. It's just crazy. So I'm feeling like that'll probably end up being the way I go. Because it's just not that expensive, man.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. It'll be nice for you to have the latest Logic, because it's really nice. It's like really nice. It's awesome. I'm into it. Man. Yeah, I wanna.
Plus, there's no fans or anything in it, dude. So it's like another silent thing in your studio.
It's
like
all
that's
solid.
Yeah, everything's solid state.
So it doesn't need. Wait, solid state doesn't need to be cool.
That's not the case, but it's just good thermal design and stuff. Like they're silent machines.
That's
So I like
pretty
that as well.
insane to me. I guess like iPhones are like that, right? They don't have fans in them. So they're using the iPhone technology and just making it into a computer.
Basically. I mean, scaled up, obviously.
Yeah. So that's why it can be a little more powerful and all. That's insane. That's actually, I think the M does stand for magic. It's got to.
And like I said, now that like drivers are out for like all the hardware I have, it's like, like now it's just about when are you ready to pull the trigger and spend the 800 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But
all sounds good.
yeah, I just feel like that's the last thing.
Mm-hmm. If you
I
got.
forgot to bring that VI over here, but I'm telling you, that thing is crazy too.
Oh yeah.
I just can't believe it. It's
How
just
clean
nuts.
it sounds.
Oh.
I was gonna ask though, if you got a laptop, are you still able to expand to like secondary monitor?
Yeah.
You use like a Thunderbolt for that?
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
yeah. It'd be
Okay.
like a Thunderbolt to DisplayPort or whatever, or to HDMI or whatever.
So
you need.
I have an extra Thunderbolt port on this computer. I could technically do that.
Yeah, that can drive another monitor.
That's cool. I was just curious. I don't plan on doing
I
that.
think technically you have 2 Thunderbolt ports in there. I think you can do up to 2 extra monitors.
I could, however, I got the interface running,
Hmm.
so that ends up being a
Yeah, that takes
Thunderbolt
one.
port.
That takes one of them.
Oh man, I'm so happy to have this back. I've missed it. I didn't mess with the other one because I was worried about. I just didn't like working with it. It was so frustrating because the jog wheel would just screw up and cause big problems.
Well, I'm just glad you took it down there with you because Sweetwater's service is the shit.
It was awesome. Yeah, I was really happy that they were like, and they said if something goes wrong with it this time that I need to, that will like to bring it back down to them and we'll have to like discuss other things because I guess you only get to do the warranty once or whatever.
Through them, because after that it's like a manufacturing issue that they have to take up with Polyen, where it's like, hey guys, like we got customers coming back around saying shit's not lasting, like you guys got to take care of us on this.
So what would I do at that point? Message Polyend or myself, or do I go to them and then they message them? Like how does that usually work?
Well, that's one of those things. If it was me, I usually go after the company directly, and then if for some reason that they're not responsive or I don't hear from the right people, then I'll talk to my rep at Sweetwater and say, hey, do you guys have a contact at wherever?
Yeah.
Like, could you reach out to him and just tell him I'm looking to talk to somebody in warranty or whatever, like I'm having this issue, and then he can just forward it on to wherever maybe it might need to go. So I have a good Sweetwater rep though. Anthony's the man.
Anthony.
Did you know that JHS made some of their pedals in 500 series chassis?
What's 500 series chassis?
Like the, think Eurorack, but for like modules, like I was showing you.
Oh. Well, which ones are those?
Which ones are the JHS?
No, which ones are the 500 series?
You know, they're like yay tall and
Oh,
maybe
you're
this wide and they go in a lunchbox type rack.
Oh, I don't have mine with me. Wait, really? So they made them so that you could fit in that? How many units wide are they?
Depends which pedal it is.
Okay.
They made 500 series units of the color box. They made them of one of their modulation pedals. The Super Bolt had a 500 series.
Did they design them to fit inside a Euro rack so you could like? Is that how they designed them?
Yeah, like I'm
Really?
saying, they came. I didn't know about this. Yeah, you have to look it up. They're super cool.
Let me look it up on this computer.
Yeah. Look up JHS 500 series. I didn't know about this at all. And I think some of them might be discontinued now. But they were experimenting with it, and the point is that they're out there floating around somewhere. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Whoa.
So the color box in a 500 series, that's super cool, which I'm pretty into that. I'm actually considering buying one of these as actually a mic preamp, of all things, because I found out the other day that's technically 2 Neve 1073s in one box, which is the shit. Even the pedal version is like that.
What else? Whoa.
Yeah, the Emperor, that's what it is. One of the modulation,
Yeah.
and then Super Bolt. Oh, and then the compressor, they put the pulp and peel in a 500.
They give you a few more things, don't they?
Yeah. It's super cool,
Whoa.
man. They're like the thing to find. Like, that's like, there's like rare, and I want them now.
There's the Kodiak. We saw a couple of those at Sweetwater.
Yeah. Yeah, they're super cool.
That is so weird.
Yeah, the color box is super cool. Like I said, I'm strongly considering getting one.
Hey everyone, I'm Josh of JHS, and I want to answer a
This
couple
is young
questions that
Josh.
you guys have been throwing at us concerning our new 500 series.
Whoa.
Those questions are, what is the 500 series, and what is a lunchbox? So, in my hand is a radio lunchbox and 500 series JHS units inside of it.
So
The
if you bought that
lunchbox
lunchbox,
gets its name,
yeah,
obviously,
JHS.
because it's kind of like a lunchbox. On the back,
That's
you have
exactly
all
how
the
it
in and
was.
outs you'll ever need.
Sweetwater.
And then on the
Yeah, I
front,
mean, but
you
they
just
make
have a
them all
modular
different
system.
sizes.
You can buy the bigger rack units if you're in a
Yeah,
fixed
like
studio
that.
and
That's
don't
what I
need to
want.
travel, and they work the same way. And that way is, hey, I'm recording a session, and this Emperor needs to go. So you take it out, and let's try the Super Bowl. Slide it in, there you go. That's how it works, that's what it's all about. API created this years and years ago. It's super tried and true and really tested, and we're excited to offer our effects and new preamps and compressors in this. So, buy one, check it out, walk around town with it, show all your friends. Pretty awesome.
Huh.
There's a demo video where JHS demos the color box, and Nick wrote a song where he used it on every single channel. And dude, it's one of the most slapping songs I've ever heard. I so wish it was like available somewhere.
Where do you find that?
Like I said, on YouTube there might be it's the color box demo. JHS color box. Yeah, no, it's the top one.
It is?
Or even blow it out to cover
I've
a
watched
Beatles
part of
song.
this.
You haven't
You have
gotten far enough to
completely
hear the song.
silent switching,
Yeah,
2
Nick's song starts
transformers,
probably
one on
like-
the in, one on the out,
Yeah.
just like the 500 unit.
Oh, okay.
You have
Yeah.
action.
He's just using like the EQ and everything on it. And like, what else does it do?
It's a preamp. So it's like a Neve 1073. It's like an old classic preamp. And normally 1073 style preamps are expensive. These are less than $500, and it's technically 2 1073s in a box. It's impressive. I just want one to be able to run my mics into for a lot of clean gain.
Tell me what you wanna do. It's not hard.
Is that him?
good song, dude. Come on.
Yeah, that's right. I would just sit it, leave it, and forget it, but I know you need it, so I
Assuming you use the
it's alright. I would just sit it, leave it, and forget it, but I know you need it, so I give it to you. It's alright. I would just sit it, leave it, and forget it, but I know you need it, so I give it to you. It's alright. I would just sit it, leave it, and forget it, but I know you need it, so I give it to you. It's alright.
By the way, that drum recording is a 2-mic drum recording with 2 ribbon mics. Oh, sorry, with a ribbon mic.
That's pretty
Super
sweet.
good song.
That's kind of inspiring.
Very inspiring. 'Cause notice how little that is.
Yeah.
It's literally a synth part, a stack of maybe 2 or 3. You're literally on that kind of sound right now.
You want a bass? What are you looking
Of course I want that. What do you see? You knew exactly what I was looking for.
for? And you could even run it into the.
I need what kind of pedals you got?
I got all types of pedals. I got big pedals, little pedals.
You must. I'm sure you must have a compressor for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want? I actually could give you either compressor if you want. The bass is in there on the wall, but you can have this compressor or this one right now because I'll give you this one. You probably want to blend. I put too much Velcro on the back of this thing.
Wow. Holy crap! Well, hey, you know it's not falling off. At least. Holy shit, dude.
Dude, how is it that bad? Hold on. Okay. Just gotta get some air underneath it. A little too much Velcro for me. Well, there's that. And I got a Bluetooth right on too. In here. Oh, yeah. Let's see here. This board's.
I literally just need like this into a DI. Like,
Yeah, we
I
need.
can go real
I need to just
simple.
charge it. That's the only problem. So if I just hold on, maybe I have another power supply. I need to get some more single power supplies. I'm realizing. What's this gonna do? Just get it in here. What's this gonna do? That's the Intertech one.
What's that put out? Nine volts. Center negative. This will work. This will work. Just fine.
That's where that went. there.
This DI.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Do you have a power tap or no?
What's a power tab?
Like just something to split off this power?
Not readily available.
Alright.
You want something else in there? Yeah, I don't think I.
You guys get coffee?
No.
Okay, I'm good.
Get us some?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Here, just where am I going into?
Channel 1 here.
How what
Oh,
am I at?
pretty low.
Yeah, so that's fine. Then let me back down here a little bit.
Alright. Oh yeah, sounds sick.
Play something.
Alright. I don't wanna hit your feet.
It's alright, I got two.
I'm gonna tell you I'm an E. Let me turn my suit a little bit, cause I was an E and then I switched it. I'm sorry. Get out of your your register a bit here, because we're totally getting kind of muddy.
Well, that's part of why I was asking if you had a power split, because I was gonna engage the CQ, because that's where my issues are. My low mid range just isn't controlled correctly. don't have a low cut turned on, do you?
On you?
Channel?
Oh. That's what it was.
No, that's part of it. All right. Yeah, my low mid is still not right though.
You want to come up here and look at it? I'll slide out your way, just like this. No. Channel 1.
Thank you. So that's on you.
Which ones? I'd rather play my synth over here.
Yeah, now I have good bass tone. Not just acceptable bass tone.
Here. Alright, if that's the case, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna
You
get
do that?
some metronome going. Make like a synth wave's easy. We're gonna do it.
Let's see.
Want to find a. One, two, three, four, five. And then we need to put ourselves in E. Make it easier on ourselves. Everything else looks good. Let's see. Go here to low pass. like the dual arpeggiation thing. That's kind of neat. And then this is set up in a way where like we can, still have melody. It's really fun. That bass sounds good. You got that like for what you're doing, and like you got just the basic stuff. It sounds really good. So it's a color box. I know it's a preamp, but it's got some controls on it too. It's basically a strip on a mix
Yeah,
board, right?
think like an old Neve, like I said, Neve 1073.
How did they make it so affordable? Because you said there's two in there.
Yeah, technically. Well, it's two stages of his 1073.
Oh, gotcha.
But I
Wait,
mean,
is that like running through a channel strip twice?
kind of, but you so you get two gain stages, in and output gain, that are both 1073
Dude,
architecture based.
That makes me wonder, do people do that? Where they'll like run,
Fuck yeah.
they'll patch back into the mix board again?
Yeah, just to get more saturation? Hell yeah. Are you serious? Of course.
I never thought to do that until we had this conversation.
Well, but it matters too that you got all gear that has transformers and stuff. That way, doing this multi-patch bullshit over and over and over again doesn't just keep stacking noise and bullshit on top.
Do
of more.
people patch into the same board, or do they patch into like a series of boards? I mean, certainly.
No, it's usually like think some preamps and then maybe going into the board pre after that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I like the idea of oversaturating the signal. That's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool.
Like this is what. So like there's a version of one that two 1073s in a like a 1U kind of thing. Let me see. I say Vintage King should have what I want. So yeah, there's a couple of the modules in the standard preamp chassis.
Save the space for me. There's some history here.
So like this is you get your gain stage, and then you get basically a couple of EQ bands and phase reverse, and that's about it. It's real simple shit. But the thing that's so famous about them is they have like, I think it's somewhere between like 60 and 80 dB of gain it can add without adding any noise, because of the way the circuit's designed. So it's like it's a favorite for people like that want to saturate the preamp for things like, say, kick drum or snare drum or drum bussing, things like that. Or it also works really well for things like a vocal mic where you want to push an incredible amount of gain, but you definitely don't want the extra noise on it.
Yeah.
So it works really well with like mics that aren't as sensitive, So, but they're expensive. I mean, like, how much was the... Oh, that's really, really nice. I didn't know they built that now. You can actually get multiple channels of them in a rack. That's so good. Yeah, with recallable gains. Dude, that's so good. That's so good. That's a really neat design. But that's 8 of them in a box. That's kind of pricey. I mean, how much does it cost to just get one? Yeah, like $1,000. So I'd say the JHS one's like half the price.
That's insane. So 1 is 1,000 and 8 is 3,000. That's a deal then.
And if you look at just the standard bass unit version, you don't even get EQ on it. So like that just makes it an even better value.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, you get a sweepable high pass. Beautiful. You get a master volume, that's like your output volume, your preamp gain, and then what increment you want it to work within, and that's how you can get cool gain structure out of it. And then you get a 3-band where you can move the frequency of all 3
Each
bands.
of them.
Yeah,
Dang, that's powerful.
which is really fucking incredible.
And it's
to
only
me.
$450. That's amazing.
Right,
It's because
and
they're selling it as a
and it's-
guitar pedal.
Not, I mean, kinda, yeah, but I mean, it still has XLR I/O.
What's that on the side there? The on-offs XLR instrument.
That's an on-off for a 20
Oh, a
dB
pad.
pad, and then
and then
how
whether it's,
you want to set up
Yeah.
the input.
that's really.
But like, I
cool.
kind of like this because I can put it very close. Also, like super short cable between it and the mic, so the place where I'm adding all the gain, like short cables, no bullshit. And if you have it right in front of you, you can do your singing and like do the adjustment while you're doing it. And be like, I like it. That's right. Let's record that. So I'm interested.
I feel like
in
you
it.
should get one because with the kind of stuff you do, it's versatile. It's small. You can.
Yeah, exactly.
You could- like you
It's,
were saying-
and he doesn't require me to buy a chassis to fit it in. Because even if
No.
I got a smoking hot deal on a 1073, I still got to spend $400 on some kind of lunchbox or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
At least a couple hundred. So, and these are all transformer based too. In fact, the JHS use Lundalls in it, so they're very good,
That's amazing.
very very good. Yeah. Oh, it's got 2 of them. I didn't know. I guess there's input and output in the V2. The original one didn't have that. Oh, and it also provides phantom power. That's amazing. I didn't realize that either.
That is amazing.
Oh, I didn't. Okay. It sounds way better than all the expensive stuff in my lunchbox. Damn.
Man, you should pick one up before they stop selling them, or the price goes up.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I really want to see what it does with the like a vocal mic, you know,
Yeah.
because that's where I really would see such a huge difference in what with the stuff I'm doing.
Time to glitch it out, baby. Select it all. And go to roll. Fill.
Damn, look at this spot, dude. This is so funny. Look at the stream.
What is it?
My bald spot, dude.
Oh.
That's crazy.
Oh.
It's funny. At some point, I might have to figure out a different hairstyle. That's very funny.
Have you tried Keeps? Not sponsored. No, just kidding. You hear all those guys talk about that?
Of what?
The brand Keeps.
What's that?
Something about hair loss.
Oh.
I haven't really looked into
I'm
it.
not worried about it. I'm gonna embrace it. I just,
Let's see.
it's probably time to start looking into, styles.
But your hair's sweet, dude.
I know. But it doesn't look right if there's nothing on top.
Just wear a hat. Let's see. We're doing a roll. 0 to 2.
rotate it up, and it mounts on top. Like you can make it so the inputs are on
Hold
top.
on. What?
hmm
That's dope.
So if you want to operate it with everything on top, you can. I mean, you have to like half rebuild it, but it's
Yeah, but that's tempting.
it's a thing. They even said clever, ain't it? Right in the
Dude, actually, I was reading some of that manual. They're really like breaking the fourth wall and other things. It's so funny. They do that several times.
Damn, you get inserts on the mains. That's
Dude,
fucking
it's
awesome.
insane.
That's another compelling reason to make broadcast be the 2-bus,
Mm.
because then if you did get a limiter, that's the place it needs to live.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because
I can make broadcast the 2-bus in 2 cable swaps.
I'm just saying, like that's a pretty neat reason.
Yeah.
You can even get a little compressor like I've got that I'm using at Vibe Unit. They're so cheap, man. I bought that thing for like $30, $40, and it sounds amazing.
This is where I was reading.
Yeah, I know about all that. I'm looking for. Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. The VLZs are intended to be run at Unity gain. So the idea is you're supposed to set the faders to 0 and then gain stage everything with the gain knobs. Because the fader is not a linear travel fader. The amount of change that say happens between here and here is a very small amount of change. Say what happens in the same distance up here.
Oh, okay.
Like this is the biggest. Like this is the most optimal place. That's why I see how it's marked, where it has like that gray marking for like from here to here. That's the optimal range to be messing with the level via fader. So the idea is that you set all of them to here, mix them so they sound all good together based on the trim pots, and then that way they're all at an optimal level to make small adjustments and have them be like impactful.
That's awesome.
So that's kind of what I thought. That's what I was saying. That's what guarantees the right levels everywhere, because they're assuming that you're gonna mix at Unity, and so all the levels inside the mixer are at like optimal levels.
Okay.
And it's nice because they're basically saying if you do that, you'll be within range without having to worry about the actual dB levels. It's not really important. As long as you're within that range, you're good to go. So that's smart. It's cool though. Apparently, it does actually. The summing is such that it is treating the subgroups as buses, even though they are just technically subs. So there's nothing really wrong with what you're doing now, other than certain things can't be routed that way.
Yeah. But if I do that one switch to the main and then make my effect send on the insert. Oh, I guess. Well, never mind. I still want to make the main be the stream.
Okay, so here's what the low EQ looks like. That's cool. I like that curve a lot. That's really, really clean. How does the mid look? Interesting. And the low cut. That's a nice looking curve too. So the ideal, they're suggesting that you're gonna start seeing clipping probably around +7. So that's good to know. That's about where the clip indicator is. Cool. Okay. That's interesting. Interesting. Nice. They have some internal jumpers that you can add if you want to make the sends post EQ. They're all pre-EQ by default. Interesting. And you can do it per channel. Interesting. Oh, full block diagram? Beautiful. That's the thing I'm worried about being able to find for that Behringer. Because that's what you need if you're going to work on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you're looking at the board, you have some idea of, you can make assumptions about what traces go where. That's super convenient. Yep. Sweet. Yeah, that's a super nice piece of document there. Yeah, that's nice. It'll tolerate up to 14 at an input. So yeah, that's the thing you have to watch is how hard you're driving outputs because they can put out a really stupid hot signal.
I know.
Like really hot.
I noticed that.
Pretty good on power consumption. That's nice. My favorite question, is the power switch on? Yeah. It's just like a glossary. That's cool. They're assuming that people don't know shit, which is nice.
Yeah, I'm really excited to finish reading that manual.
Nice. That's handy too. So you don't have to worry about it. All the TRS IO,
Mm-hmm.
it assumes that you might just unbalance it by plugging in TS cables. So obviously you're missing out on it being balanced, but it's designed to not have that hurt it.
Oh, that's good.
So that's good. Does it say what? Free t-shirt offer.
That's cool. $19.97, dude.
Some nice line art. It's pretty.
Yeah, that's really cool.
These are for printing off. So normally what you do is you print these off, and if you like had some setup you liked, you could make one of these, and then you just take a Sharpie and you just mark like what the position of the pots were, so you have like a record of how it was set up. That's what those are usually for. And then they give you see session, date.
Wow.
So that's the intention of that. Interesting. Yeah, so you can color in whatever was pressed or turned or whatever.
That's really cool.
It was a neat time in history. I do like how quiet it is, though. There's no like noise or anything in it. That's why I couldn't believe that. It's like, honestly, crazy to see a PLZ for that cheap. I mean, newer, sexier stuff has come out, I guess, and you'll be worried with that, but
I like this stuff.
pretty neat, just a bunch of analog summing. This is better than any line mixer you could have bought. This is so much more I/O. Oh shit, like you don't even have any channels muted. It's that quiet when things actually turned up. That's crazy. You did right with all your wiring. Am I crazy or is it better than it used to be? Everything just seems quieter and less noisy. When I was playing bass, it seemed very quiet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was noticing that, and also much more control over everything. It's so awesome. Like so much.
I still want to get a monitor controller for that very reason. I don't need something like this, but something to just be able to have last stage and 4 speakers, like control over volume and what I'm listening to. I'll try those ones nowadays.
The streaming shit is so cool.
Passive ones are really cheap, but I think I want. Wait, you even have a return turned up from that, and it's still that quiet? No way. Wow. So like something like this is kind of what I want. Because it gives me 2 headphone circuits, which is great. One for whoever's like recording with me and myself. Some level control. Talkback built in, dimming, and some to mono, which is a big deal for me, and then just a big volume control. And then like as far as I/O, you get multiple sets of outputs, and also has USB that can record from any of these sources. So it'd be really nice for plugging into my streaming setup too, you know, to just be able to hear anything I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So they're not too bad on price. It's tempting. Maybe next month. I bought a MacBook this month, so I can't. Like, I'm tapped. And I bought an expensive DI.
So yeah, at the end of the stream, when we do our out card, I can now select when we like did the like coolest stuff, and I can just play it back
Play
immediately,
that out, yeah.
which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, I can't believe how quiet it is. That's nutty.
Yeah, that wire you brought me is the other one running to this. I only had one running, so I was running it in mono. That's what this was. I was running it in mono earlier.
Got it.
So that second one is covering the other side of it. Now it's running stereo, which
Nice.
is sick. Yeah, it's all self-contained. So like if you want to record into this box, you just plug into the whatever. I don't have any of my XLRs run it yet. I'm going to do that. I plan on having like this computer's gonna end up being like the final stuff, and this computer here is for like just like tracking parts and doing stuff like that. So eventually we'll have to get that shared system going, but for now what I'm doing is just swapping things over on the hard drive. But yeah, it's working out really well. I kind of realized though that I was thinking about this earlier, that I won't have my monitors right in front of me, which kind of sucks. I wish I would have thought about that. I could still swap these computers and do it that way, but I do like this setup better with the mixer in the middle. Everything cascades to the center here.
Right.
So and everything becomes here, like goes into this, and then also any audio that's being picked up by that, which is not getting picked up at the moment. Oops. But any audio that is getting picked up in the room is also in the direction of the mix board, which I like. But yeah, everything just in the corner and then out to the stream, and I think when we do get,
It's nice that you can actually have a bunch of hardware hooked up now,
yeah, I know, and just leave it up.
Yeah, that's my point. Now I have to like
Yeah.
set up and tear down.
Oh yeah, it's so much nicer because I can now record things like ideas and stuff out, and I don't have like the only other thing I want to do too is run a MIDI cable from this computer so I can use this for like tracking audio. Remember, that's what we got it for, was to be a looper event essentially. So I'm just gonna, all I have to do is run that cable out if I want to loop from that to give it time code over here so I can synchronize my other instruments.
Right.
And I'm all done. Like that's really all. I just didn't do it yet, because by the time I got to that point, it was 2:00, and I was like, I just want to start up. But yeah, so all in all, I'm really excited about this, and I'm really looking forward to just this. This setup might lead me to like be able to stream more, which is great because I won't have to fuss too much over setting up and tearing down and doing any of that. I just gotta come in here and start. So I might just make it more like what we did today, where we just hang out and chill, and like we can, if there's any topic of conversation, I'll set the table up and we'll do a classic Skylight Huddle. But I like just like hanging out in here and talking about things, even if we get.
Well, even that would only really be as difficult as, well, it looks like you already got one already kind of permanently.
Yeah, that one's
Maybe
and that
like
one's already running through too.
So my
That,
point is, what is it? You need
all I have to do is run
one
a
additional
microphone here.
cable?
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, come on.
So we can actually be on both sides of the room talking, like this.
Easy.
So, yeah, it's not a big deal at all, and I think in terms of what I was going for with Skylight Huddle, this is what it feels more like to me, where it's like I wanted to forget that I was actually recording to some degree. Like I have it in the back of my mind, but I want to just be. I don't want to be on. I want the cameras on. I want the audio running, but I don't want to be on in performance mode. I want to be in like creative mode where I'm like dialed in on stuff and like making things, regardless of what it is. And I think this setup with just like the room mic capturing everything and then the camera capturing everything, I think that lends itself more to that. And that mixer being out in the present where I can just quickly move some faders to send what I want, that's ideal for me. Because then it's like I don't have to be in the box like trying to figure out what goes where.
Yeah, it's right in front of you. That's
And that was the conversation we had like when we were coming back from Sweetwater,
Yeah, it's easier to just glance at and have an idea what everything's seeing instead of like having to dig through 10 tabs of some software or whatever.
Absolutely.
Then technically you could have all your computers turned off.
Yeah,
and still play
make
some music or play with a synth or whatever. Which
Yeah,
is,
I'm
which
only
is pretty
using
powerful
this
too.
computer to record just like a documentation of what we did today musically. And after this, I'm going to cut out all the silent parts. And I'm going to render it out as audio so we can both have it, you know, in the drive. I'm going to start a Skylight Huddle. Like I'm just going to take that beefiest, nicest part of the stream, and I'm going to start rendering it down.
Something I think we should do at some point, and I'll do the legwork on getting it set up. But I'm going to start another share for you and I.
Just for you and me.
That where we give less of a shit about how like nice we're being about storage and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think because remember the other night we were talking about after Vibe Unit, we were talking about going through some of your stuff, and it's like, well, wait,
Yes.
do I even have what you have? It's like, maybe we should take the time to like get all that right again and
Yeah.
start syncing our audio data folders. I'd be willing to do that with you.
I would too.
I don't care if my shit's like on your machine too. Like that doesn't bother me, and I'm down to throw tons of disk at it. I don't care.
Yeah.
But that would be so nice for just throwing stuff in there and not having to worry about it.
I agree.
Because really, how much is it? I mean, a couple hundred gigs at most. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, we'll be
Why
all-
not? Why
yeah,
not
we'll get
just
through it.
sync it up?
We might as
If
well
I-
try starting it and see what.
And I'd rather
happens.
treat my local thing as more of a, for whatever reason, I wanted to snapshot whatever was on the thing, and so I
Yeah.
copied it down and archived it. You know.
Yeah.
But the version I would work out of always would be the version that's in there.
Yep.
Knowing that like we have the same stuff. If I'm in
Exactly.
the middle of something, I come over here, it's gonna be what I left,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
Yeah. I agree. That'd be good.
Because I do want to get in the habit of bouncing everything out, but that also I think would help, because then if something isn't current, it's no problem to just pull it up and do it.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, it's a good system. I think. Yeah, I think having access to all those audio, like the MP3s of things we've worked on, that's gonna be good content. I would like to, like, maybe on a stream. I think we talked about this too. Just maybe even in this format, you know, just go through and look at songs that and maybe make comments on them and stuff. We could set up, you know, make it nice and maybe make it a little comfier in here and just like chill and listen to music and see what we like, and then also if at that moment there is any fan, like I guess viewer engagement, they could also lend in some like ideas on that too. But yeah, it's I like the way it's set up in here. It feels a lot more seamless to me than it did. So I'm happy about that. I don't have to think about it as hard as before. I was kind of, my mind was scattered across the interfaces, but now everything's sent to one location. It's really easy to mess with stuff. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna probably call it there. I'm gonna stop this recording, and then I am going to, let's see. Yeah, it's still on. Let's see here. So to get out of here, we're gonna unmute this. We're no longer recording. Sent here and here.